Okay, we have Mr. Wrong, which I believe is almost like 100 SCPs ago. The last one, 2857. There was a 2853 that he also wrote. They also wrote, but 2857 is the last one we read of theirs, which was the. Yes, it was like the. I forgot. I keep forgetting, but it's like that one, like chicken and rice meal. That the moment you eat it, that's the only thing you want to eat. Because the guy was like, I studied the ways. I studied the way to make the perfect meal, and everything else is inferior. Also, by the way, I must admit, Brad, awesome shirt you're wearing. Yeah, I'm wearing the Unos Honest shirt from like Markiplier and Ethan when that was still a thing. I also have a black and white version of it. Actually, if you look, I have to be careful. I cannot show nipples. If you look here, if you flip it, it is actually black and white as well, but it's not meant to be like flipped. Because like, of course you have the tag here in the back. But I do have a black version with the white skulls in Switzerland. Because I bought two, because I was like, okay, one for me and one for Liam. Alright. Once again, Mr. Wrong. Mr. Wrong, you wrote Polymorphism-Inducing rocks. Can we transform while having the rocks in our hand? What's going on? Oh, because that's safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-2953 and all fragments extracted from it are to be kept in a storage locker at Site 44. Personnel are to be donned gloves while handling SCP-2953 and its pieces, and refrain from direct contact with it. Exceptions are allowed for test subjects during testing. Description: SCP-2953 collectively refers to one boulder with an approximate resemblance to a female humanoid. Okay. The fragments extracted from said boulder. At time of recovery, the mass of the boulder is approximately 45 kilograms. Not kilometers. That's not mass. Chemical composition of SCP-2953 consists of a mixture of carbon, around 70%, calcium, around 25%, and phosphorus, around 5%. When a human makes direct contact with SCP-2953, here often referred to as the subject, she undergoes the following transfiguration. Lengthening of the coccyx, often protruding from the epidermis, incident in the pheomelanin in the subject's hair, abnormal hair growth throughout subject's body, elongation of the face such that the snout is formed, transformation of hands and feet into paw-like appendages. It sounds like it's like a mixture of all different animals, not enemies. Increased production of estrogen in subject, often causing breast development. Growth of extra teats, up to 4 per breast on the breast. Today's SCP offers barely this. The extent of these transfiguration is the most potent near the areas where SCP-2953 has contact with the subject's body. Transfiguration are more prominent and occur at an increased rate in female subjects than male subjects. While not inherently lethal, health complications are highly likely to arise due to inability of the subject's body to cope with the sudden transfigurations. Fragments of SCP-2953, up to a total mass of 5 kilograms, were extracted by its previous custodians. The Imperial Japanese Abnormal Matters Examination Agency, yeah, we heard of these guys when we had to like look at some of the SCPs that took place in Japan. Most of these fragments were used as the main component in the construction of 108 Franchise bullets, with the remainder believed to be samples extracted from analysis and experiments. These bullets were encased in modified 6.5 times 50 mm Arisaka cartridges, which are intended to be fired from the Type 97 sniper rifle. Prior to IJMEA control of item, SCP-2953 was held in that's a weird thing to like for Twitch to be like you cannot say it. Oh, because of misogyny. Yeah, because gotcha. The bullets were encased in done. SCP-2953 was held in the Seme Gallery. Seme Gallery. This does not look like we need to read this. I mean, that's what this does again. I mean, we know what it does. Below is a translated transcript of a black code describing SCP-2953. The Japanese bullets have turned people into furries. Don't tell people. Don't be quiet. Put your voice down. Only of course Japan would have that. This is the Seisho Seki, also the corpse of Tamamo no Mai, the fox spirit who once had ill designs on Emperor Toba and executed on the plains of Nasu in Yamotsuke province. Her vengeful spirit resides in her corpse and warped into stone. A man who touches it is certain to fall to death. Overcome by the spiritual essence of Tamamo no Mai. I think I heard of Tamamo no Mai in the myth sense. I have not researched a lot about them, but I think I heard the name. The second year of an era, Ryakuo Shogun Ashikaka Takuchi bestows this as a tribute to the court of his imperial majesty. May it prove the shogunate's dedication in delivering justice to the pretender at Yoshino. Refers to the southern court which opposed the Ashikaga shogunate during the Nanboku-cho northern and southern courts period. Don't spill any secrets. On 936, IJMA requested SCP-2953 to be transferred from the Seimei Gallery for a project codenamed Operation Daki. Below are translated excerpts from a proposal regarding Operation Daki written by Dr. Abe. View excerpt. For a complete transcript, see document -key. The premises of Operation Daki lies in two culture concepts of the Chinese. In Sayuki, spirits slaughtered by Son Goku will revert to their primeval forms upon death. Japanese title for the Chinese classic Journey of the West, and of course, Japanese name for Son Wukong and protagonist of the Journey of the West. Yeah, in case some people don't know that Goku is like the anime character is based on the Son Wukong character. So that's the easy part. But like even like his name is like very much like based on it. For instance, a dead fox spirit reverts to a fox. Also, there have been countless anecdotes from the Chinese emperor's harem of adulterous concubines birthing foxes as heaven signs of the unfaithfulness. Yeah, and also I believe in China, like the fox was like the one most known fox creature, being is Daji, who's like, you know, was created by New War. I've talked about Dashi before on here, and New War was basically, you know, being somebody's trying to like throw her and she was very uncomfortable, so she created a woman who was supposed to be even prettier than her, and then Dashi was like seduced the guy who was trying to get New War's trying to slide in New War's DMs, but like then it was like, oh, Dashi is a lot better, that's a better option, and then little did they know that Dashi had a thing for torture. So yeah, that's what happened to him. So foxes were always like, you know, an omen technically, because Dashi is also a fox woman, like she has multiple fox tails. We're exposed on copies leaders. Okay, using the space we will expose uncooperative Chinese leaders as demons to their subjects. Thereon, we can divert popular support to leaders favorable to our empire's position. Without bloodshed, we of Japan shall adopt the position of heaven to provide the mandate to the leaders of brethren nations and guide East Asia in harmony. Previous incidents recorded by the defunct Onmyo Bureau cautioned the prospect of desecrated shape-shifting yokai in reincarnating in nearby areas and adopt traits of those lands. Double footnotes. Onmyo Bureau documents cited in the proposal were dated to pre-Asuka periods of or during the Genpei War, Nanboku, Zhou, and Warring States periods. Due to Japan's political instability during those periods, most Onmyo Bureau records from those periods are believed to be of low historicity and often exaggerated from secondary sources. Despite partial low historicity, Ijame maintained the stance that all Onmyo Bureau documentations are factual records of anomalous occurrence in Japan. Counter-arguments to these stance were often derided as foreign influence to allegedly undermine Japan's national integrity. While the Onmyo practitioners deemed it a wild card, I assert that this aspect can be a benefit to the empire. War is increasingly an inevitability, whether it to be repelled Soviet incursions in northern Asia or to liberate the Southeast Asians from colonial rule. A reincarnated fox spirit can be another asset for the war to come. But we need a seducer or trickster, which her kind are known for in both Japan and China. Yeah. So they're planning to turn Chinese leaders into demons, so that the Chinese will turn against them. No, very soon. Let's be brave and say what it is. Instead, it will be advantageous if the fox spirit adopts a form that can kill 100 heroes. A form suitable of war. The so-called Kumyo of Chosen is to be a bloodthirsty half-fox, half-human creature, which feasts on humans' heart and livers. That should be sufficient. Therefore, we need to sully the home island with the return of an enemy of his imperial majesty and ancestors. Instead, we will have the fox spirit reincarnate in Chosen and become the evil spirit worthy of her place amongst Japan's three great monsters and in the nightmares of Chosen natives. And she will serve the Empire's interests with sufficient coercion on her part. I'm getting fucking, again, Daji and also Naruto vibes, because like, the whole like, yeah, we've... Instead we will have the fox spirit reincarnate in Chosen, you know what I mean? Like... with approval from the Ministry of the Imperial Household, SCP-2953 was transported to IGMA Fusan facility. Japanese name for Busan, Korea. There it was experimented upon for Operation Daki. Below are a selection of translated excerpts regarding Operation Daki. View excerpts. Yesterday, using a for compilation, see document 2953-2. Yesterday, using a volunteer, we have proved that direct contact with the Seisho Seki has a positive effect on the toucher, not the voucher. Today, we proceed to test the effects of on a live human should a small portion of Seisho Seki be extracted. As expected, today's volunteer responded positively upon contact with Seisho Seki. As well as with yesterday's volunteer, he will be given relief of his earthly status for his troubles. Of course, they have some like code speak, like the earthly status. Tomorrow we will prepare the test for effective a small portion of Seisho Seki is surgically transplanted into a person's body. As with previous successful tests, I hypothesize the results will be the least similar. With assistance from volunteers, we will begin to extract raw materials from the Seisho Seki. They will be covered throughout their bodies while working on the rock. Although their safety matters, little of my superiors can guarantee the surplus from the Kwantung Army. Oh god, my back said sheet. Volunteers need to know what the Seisho Seki's properties. lest it promotes unsavory thoughts among them. Guards supervising those volunteers should be equally covered so that no accidents will occur. Extraction is temporarily halted. As predicted, extraction from the head has resulted in a psychic backlash which has incapacitated the volunteers and guards present with Sesho Seki. None died in the backlash. Notably, this instance is similar to successful execution of so-called Semitic solar deity. By the Germans during the 1800s. This is certainly interesting and can be, well, it's not 1800, is it? Like, it's 1800. There's certainly interesting and no, it is never mind. It is 1800s. Well, I'm getting my stuff confused. And can be presented as evidence of the divinity of the fox spirit. Throughout East Asia, only we of Japan have recognized the divinity of the fox. Now we have acquired evidence via the scientific method. That said, it is fortunate we did not choose to have the fox spirit reincarnate before an Inari shrine. The empire does need two manifested gods. Its imperial majesty alone will suffice. Besides, an actual manifested god will only disrupt the primary of state Shinto and threaten the empire's social harmony. The idea of like you have the power to bring back or to bring one of your land's gods, and you're like, no, it actually doesn't work out. The facility will be on lookout for any possible leads to the fox spirit's manifestation. Once found, we will attempt to detain her, establish lines of communication, and determine if our hypothesis is correct. March 14th, 1939. Dear Dr. Abe, we were pleased to... Or Abe. I got it. Dear Dr. Abe. We are pleased to hear your many findings and results on Operation Darky. They are truly useful as evidence of Japan's cultural supremacy in Asia, which would certainly please His Imperial Majesty. However, if I may recall this operation objective, was to encourage cooperation among the Chinese leadership. Surely you would know that the Imperial Army has already captured both Nanking and Wuhan, and is confident that the Nationalist Party will be pacified with Chongqing's falls. And this guy falls as well, because he's a bot. Be gone. After which the remaining warlords will surely submit to the Empire, and there will be favorable cooperation among all parties in China. Precisely the objectives of Operation Darky to be realized. Therefore, the High Command has decided to shut down Operation Darky until further notice. It's a pity, truly, but the bullets that could be forged from Sesho Seki are but a drop of water before the massive flood of the Imperial Army gunpowder. Regardless, the Fox Spirit notify General Nura of the Yokai Battalion when you have located her. Sincerely, General Kurata M. All pieces of SCP-2953 were recovered from IGMA Fusan facility on 1945, following Japan's surrender in World War II. Document Ni. Abstract. Additional documents. Response entity. Tamamonomai. Despite its supposed origin as a byproduct of SCP-2953, the Foundation has not independently verified or disproved of the postulation. IGMA High Command claimed that it has not received any documentation regarding the acquisition of entity Tamamonomai, and denied that this organization ever had possession of it. However, documents from IGMA Fusan facility suggest that it was successfully acquired and kept there until the end of the World War II. View excerpts. There's a lot of excerpts in this one. Not as many as addendums in 2951, but you know, still a lot of excerpts. As of 16th August, Shoba 14, a curfew will be called upon in the city of Fusan due to the recent murders by a mysterious figure. Equivalent to 1939 CE. The hearts and livers of all murder victims have been missing, and claw marks are identified on those victims. The murderer is suspected to be affiliated with Soviet-backed separatists, suspect believed to be armed and dangerous. Specialists from the Empire's armed forces have been dispatched to investigate the matter. All locals are to be respectful to the specialist. All suspicious activity are to be reported to city authorities promptly. Governor Minami. We have successfully detained the Fox Spirit. Given the current trajectory of the war, she will most likely be sent to China for Operation Ichigo. Which Ichigo is means 1 and 5, so that's a way to say 15 sometimes in Japan. But it also means strawberry. We will be establishing lines of communication to her very soon, after which we will report her to the High Command. We have concluded our first attempt to speak with Tamamo no Mai. Sadly, she does not seem amiable for such communication yet. Nonetheless, I was finally able to behold her in my eyes. She was in human form partially, with her 9 red tails wrapping her otherwise new body. Classy. Very classy. As I stood outside her cell, her yellow eyes were solely fixed on me. The guards claimed she was looking at them instead, but that must have been a matter of perspective. While she was mostly silent, I thought I heard she spoke something about, but the guards heard nothing. The word spoken was, "Father," while facing me. Come on, buddy. Is she aware of my role in reincarnating her in Chosen? If that were the case, it shames me for Tamamo no Mai to regard me in such a manner. It sees me as a dead. Today we have tested Tamamo no Mai capacity as a combatant with the aid of several volunteers. She displayed her natural abilities in savagery, making short work of the volunteers, after which we allowed her to feast on her spoils. Humanoid Vulpian polymorphism? Pass. Divination? Question mark. Pyrokinesis? Fail. Spiritual possession of humans? Fail. Hallucination and creation? Question mark. Many of the abilities described, as ascribed to her kind, were not displayed in our tests. Perhaps we need to assist her in accessing those abilities. Thus far, Tamamo no Mai Corp is cooperative. Perhaps she is aware of her origin as a Japanese, despite acquiring the imagery imposed by chosen natives. With further acclimatization and guidance, she can be fit for war, of course. Who would have thought? Why else? Strange, there has been no response from the Yokai Battalion. I'm certain that I have written to General Nura a few weeks ago. Pity, it appears that Tamamo no Mai will be in our care for a while longer. Meantime, Tamamo is just like, please, just leave me out. It's been so long. It's been days. Just let me out already. Tamamo no Mai still resides here. The Yokai Battalion must have been too busy to claim her. Especially with the fierce fighting in China and Okinawa. The home islands have faced the wrath of the Americans' new weapon, and the Soviets had invaded the Chosen Peninsula. It is inevitable. Certainly the Allies will come and take over the Chosen, including Fusan. The High Command has issued a memo to safeguard all abnormal materials to be handed over to our enemy SCP Foundation, but this shall be done. Even if she was even if she has adopted chosen traits. now I think of Shane as like the chosen. The chosen doesn't have. Tamonomai is still a Japanese. She is technically not an abnormal material. She should not be surrendered to foreigners. When the the Foundation occupied IGMEA fusion facility on 1945, entity Tamonomai was not found in its supposed holding cell. Its currently whereabouts remain unknown. Hypothesis from 05 postulates that entity Tamonomai has been contained as separate SCP object. Certainly, SCP 953 due to the latter's initial recovery at Fusan. However, SCP 953 responded negatively to any connotation pertaining to Japan. Oh boy. A lot of science stories. But I do like it because, again, it's connected to the myth, so naturally I like it. It's an easy win in my book. If you have mythology in your story, no matter how complicated it is, I will be like, nice. That's awesome. Oh, I'll be right back. I'm gonna fill up the water bottle and move it around a little bit. Oh. There's a moment I wish I had a standing desk, you know? That would be awesome.